The politics of U.S. support for foreign wars on full display today. Ukraine's president is in Washington looking to gain more support to fight off Russian aggression.
Meanwhile, Israel's prime minister arrives in New York for the United Nations General Assembly as the U.S. and allies call for an immediate ceasefire to stop the spiraling conflict in the Middle East from spreading. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
Today, two world leaders seeking U.S. support for their nations at war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Capitol Hill speaking with lawmakers, and at the White House with President Biden, who announced a new security package for Ukraine.
We stand with Ukraine now and in the future.
President Zelensky then meeting with Vice President Harris. He's pitching his victory plan to strengthen Ukraine, including asking for the freedom to use U.S.-supplied weapons to fire into Russia.
Together, we have to win. We will win.
The Ukrainian leader not meeting with former President Trump, who's grown increasingly critical of Zelensky, accusing him of favoring Vice President Harris in the coming election.
The president of Ukraine is in our country, and he's making little nasty aspersions toward your favorite president, me.
At the same time, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu arriving in New York for the United Nations General Assembly, where the U.S. and France are pressing for a 21-day ceasefire along the Israel-Lebanon border.
Important is war not widen.
Israel's prime minister rejecting that, telling the military to keep striking Hezbollah militant targets in Lebanon with full force. Hundreds are dead in Lebanon, tens of thousands fleeing amid cross-border airstrikes from both sides and threats of a potential Israeli ground invasion. World leaders racing for a diplomatic solution to contain the growing violence. As Vice President Harris seeks to demonstrate her foreign policy skill and put her own stamp on Ukraine, former President Trump meeting with the leaders of India and Poland in New York for the UN. His decision to skip a Zelensky sit-down, a signal of the eroding Republican support for Ukraine. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.